Are you Autumn? Can you step out of the car for me, please? My heart would sink. I want to know why she had so many patients. Sis said, let me cosplay as the most overworked, underpaid profession on earth.
Probably one of the most bizarre cases that I've been involved in my decades in law enforcement.
What's up, everyone? It's Nurse Blake, and welcome back to my channel. We're going to talk about this wild case coming out of Florida about this fake Florida nurse. Let's jump right in. Right when I heard this story, I had to talk about it. So I made a TikTok video. Your comments are so funny. I'm going to be reading some of them later. But this story went so viral that her cousin even posted a TikTok that I'm going to blind react to a little bit later. Let's start with the facts. Autumn Marie Bardisa, 29, out of Palm Coast, Florida. Fun fact, my grandmother actually lived in Palm Coast and I grew up in Palm Coast, so I'm familiar with the area and the hospitals out there. She worked at Advent Health Palm Coast Parkway. She was actually impersonating a nurse from June 2024 till January 2025. She treated over 4,400 patients. They say none of them were harmed or killed because of her care, but over 4,000 patients. I did the math on that. June to January is like 7 months. If you divide that by 7 months, divide it by the days, that's like 21 patients a day with no days off. So she was pulling in some overtime. I bet those nurses on the floor loved her. The staffing office loved her. If you saw this story and she was your nurse, please comment about what kind of fake nurse she was. The sheriff office also wants to hear from you, so you can email them at fakenursecase@flaglersheriff.com. But also let us know in the comments because we want to know the tea. People are saying that she must have been a good nurse because they actually found all this out while she was getting a promotion to charge nurse. So was she a good nurse? I don't know. She probably got a Daisy Award, actually. You know what? I've been a nurse 11 years and never got a Daisy Award. I swear, if she got a Daisy Award being a fake nurse, I'm gonna be pissed. Why would you want to impersonate a nurse, especially a nurse in Florida? Florida nurses only get paid like around $30 an hour. I mean, I guess if you work float or per diem, it could be a little more than that, or you're a travel nurse. But a bedside staff nurse in Florida, it rings out about $30 an hour. And you want to impersonate a job that only makes $30 an hour? Impersonate Katy Perry and become an astronaut. Impersonate a stripper at Rachel's in Orlando, Florida. Impersonate a store manager at Buc-ee's. We got Buc-ee's now here, and I hear their starting rate is like $37 an hour. I'm gonna impersonate a worker at Buc-ee's. Even impersonators get more money than this. Girl, what are you doing? You risk jail time. You impersonated a job and a profession that gets no breaks. You're working 12, 13 hours. You can't even pee. You don't even get a bathroom break, especially here in Florida. Impersonate a nurse from California. At least they have things like safe staffing and higher pay. And you know what? Now she doesn't have to impersonate an Orange County inmate, because congrats, girl, you are one. And you're gonna impersonate a nurse in Palm Coast, Florida? At least go down to Miami where the beaches are nicer and the people are hotter. So here's the breakdown and the timeline. She was hired in July in 2023 as an advanced nurse technician. She said she was an education first RN. I've been seeing this term thrown around a lot, that she was an education first RN. What does that even mean? Apparently, that's someone who went to school to become a nurse, but they hadn't passed their NCLEX yet. They're not even registered yet. You're hiring them as an education first RN. They're not even a registered nurse first. Just hire them as an advanced nurse technician. So she had finished nursing school, but had not been licensed yet. Apparently, she failed the NCLEX the first time she took it. She failed her first attempt at the nursing licensure exam before being hired. She claimed she passed the exam and gave a license number. However, it just belonged to another nurse with the same name. And by the way, I'm a nurse. I am not a journalist. So if you have dug into this story a lot more and you want to spill more facts or clarify anything I'm saying, please do. Drop your thoughts and comments below. The nurse of the license that she stole was a different last name. So apparently she just said that she got married and her last name was different. And so they asked her to prove on a marriage certificate, but I guess she never proved it. But why wasn't she in trouble then? Like, why didn't they catch it then? Like, there's so many times throughout this process she should have been caught and then just wasn't. And then in January 2025, while up for a promotion as charge nurse, a coworker checked her license. She found out that she only had an expired CNA license. I want to know the drama, why this nurse was like, is this girl even a real nurse? Like, what prompted her to go and dive in and do this research and be like, is this girl even a nurse? So I want to know what happened. Was she just jealous that she was getting promoted to charge and she wasn't? Did she question some of the nursing skills that this nurse Autumn was doing? So I bet nurses right now, after this story came out, as they're working, as you're on the floors right now with nurses and you see a nurse doing something questionable, I know what you're thinking, especially those of you who love like true crime and want to like love this story. I bet so many licenses are being verified right now. So you better even check to make sure your license is active, because I bet everyone's just checking each other's licenses right now. So apparently she passed the NCLEX in early 2025 after being fired. So she went to nursing school, she got a job, said she was a nurse before even becoming licensed, and then passed the NCLEX and became a nurse. Girl, practice your patience. Relax. Why would you even want to go about being a fake nurse if you're going through the steps to become a nurse anyways? And what's so sad is I don't know how old her child is, but she has a kid, and that just breaks my heart. When she was getting arrested, she was like, my kid's being watched. I have a kid. I want to say goodbye. Like, girl, you knew this was going to happen. What were you thinking? Just to make 30, just to say you're a nurse? Like, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. So she was arrested August 5th, 2025 at home in her car while she was in scrubs. So if she was fired by the hospital that she lied to in January, and she was caught in scrubs in August. So I want to know where she was working between the time she was fired in January 2025 and then when she was arrested in August 2025, because they arrested her in her car at her house in scrubs. Where was she Could you imagine working a long ass 12-hour shift and then being arrested? Like, bro, let me take a break. Let me pee. Let me take my stethoscope off. Let me get out of these scrubs. Let me take my Crocs off. It's like, give a girl a minute. So 7 felony counts for practicing healthcare without a license and fraudulent use of personal identification. Girl, again, I don't know how long these counts carry, but you're going to be in it for a long time. You just traded in scrubs for a jumpsuit. Her bond is set at $70,000. So if she was planning to pick up one of your shifts, you're either going to have to work your scheduled shift or you're going to have to bond her out for 70 grand. And if she was a nurse in California, she probably could have afforded that $70,000 bond. The good news is no confirmed injuries or deaths related to this impersonation. Thank God. But which also means she must have been knowing what she was doing. You know what I mean? I usually say fake it till you make it, but in this case, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. All right, let's watch a video.
This morning, a Florida woman is behind bars, accused of treating thousands of hospital patients without a license to do so.
Hey there. Are you Autumn?
Yeah.
Can you step out of the car for me, please?
Are you Autumn? Can you step out of the car for me, please? My heart would sink. Was she going to work or was she coming home from a long shift? She looks good though. Like she looks like she just is getting ready for a shift. So where was she going? If she got fired from this other system she impersonated. Now she did at some point pass her NCLEX. Like where was she working? Which patients was she caring for? But yeah, I think she might have been going to work because she's in scrubs, but she also got makeup on and her hair looks good. So I don't think she's coming home from a 12-hour shift.
Police say 29-year-old Autumn Bardiza, seen here on body cam, was arrested in Palm Coast, Florida for posing as a licensed nurse for nearly 2 years.
2 years nearly posed as a licensed nurse. Girl, in 29, that is it's so sad.
during that time providing care to almost 4,500 patients.
Probably one of the most bizarre cases that I've been involved in my decades in law enforcement.
Months after her initial application at Advent Health Palm Coast Parkway in 2023.
Palm Coast Parkway, Advent Health. I know exactly where that is. That is so wild to me.
Authorities say Bardisa told the facility she had passed her nursing exam and, quote, provided a license number matching an individual with her first name, but with a different last name.
She goes, "Oh, I just got married," and it was pretty much, "Well, congratulations, but we would like a copy of your marriage certificate for."
So she provided a real license number, but under a different name. Same first name, different last name. And then she said, "Oh, I'm married." And they're like, "Well, provide the marriage certificate." And I guess she never provided it. So why didn't it stop there?
Our file. She never did produce that.
The catch? Police say the license number she provided belonged to another nurse. It was only when she was up for a promotion that an internal review revealed the truth.
It was only when she was up for a promotion that the internal review, they knew the truth, because that nurse spilled the tea and looked her up and searched her. I want to meet that nurse. I want to meet you.
Hospital fired Bardisa in January and alerted the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, and it took 7 months of investigating to lead to this moment.
Put your hands behind your back.
Who do you think is at fault for this?
At the end of the day, it's the person that we arrested. She's the one that lied.
Bardisa is now facing.
So the sheriff said, who's a person at fault? She's the one that lied. She's the one in trouble. But honestly, yes, she is the bad person here, but there's got to be better mechanisms to prevent this happening in the future. And Florida, you've already been under a lot of tea about a few years ago. There were some fake nursing schools in South Florida that sold 7,600 fake diplomas to anyone who would get one. And I guess this girl just missed that timeline for a fake diploma. So she had to she had to just provide a fake license number of someone else and impersonate someone else. But I think the hospital also needs to be investigated, and we need to find out why this happened, why it got so far. Because this could happen. I mean, what are we going to do to prevent this? We can't just arrest her and say, "Oh, it's done. We fixed the problem. It's not going to happen again."
Facing 14 felony charges, including 7 counts of practicing a healthcare profession without a license.
To our knowledge, no one was injured and no one died as a result of any actions that she took.
Being in the back of a cop car in your scrubs, it's like, oh, girl, that sucks.
If that had occurred, this would be a different case.
And to that point, Advent Health did just get back to us. They said that they do not comment on pending legal matters or personnel matters.
And of course, the hospital is not going to comment. Are we surprised?
Matters, and referred us back to the sheriff. But Savannah, the sheriff, as we just heard, they pointed out that Bardisa could.
If she cared for 4,400 patients in that short of time frame when she was impersonating a nurse, I want to know why she had so many patients. We need to be investigating the hospitals for poor staffing. Why did she have up to 10, 15, 20 patients, if I do that math right? And I have to say, I'm not that good at math. Pharmacology calculations really got me in nursing school. But why was a nurse caring for that many patients? That's the big question here.
Face serious additional charges depending on whether any of these patients come forward with more serious allegations. Savannah.
What a wild story there, Marissa. Thank you very much.
My question is, if she cared for 4,400 patients over 9 months, she was impersonating a nurse, June 2024 to January 2025. If you do the math, 9 months divided by 30, that's about 16 patients a day with no days off. She was working on one hell of a med-surg floor, picking up every freaking shift, every overtime shift to care for that many patients. That's where the investigation needs to be. Why did a nurse have that many patients? 16 patients a day on average with no days off for 9 months. 4,400 patients? That's wild. That is the crime here. That is the crime. She's looking at, 14 felony counts, but the hospital's probably looking at 4,400 lawsuits. But it's Advent Health, so they're just extending the healing ministry of Christ. Y'all, this is your sign to never, ever impersonate a nurse. It's not worth it. It literally is. We cry at work. Like, we don't get breaks. We don't pee. It's not worth it. Don't do it. Do not be Autumn. That video is wild. The story is wild. The fact that it came from Florida is not surprising, actually, especially with the fake Florida nursing schools that were selling fake nursing diplomas a few years ago. So this wasn't that surprising. But listen, look at me. It is not worth it. So if you're out there, ooh, I look sexy in scrubs, I want that nurse money, but I don't want to be licensed, you will become an Autumn. You will be an Autumn because there'll be a nurse on your unit that looks at one thing you do and goes, I'm going to check them out. I'm going to look for them licensed. I'm going to look for their license. And then you're going to end up in scrubs in the back of a cop car in Florida in 100-degree heat. Before I blind react to her cousin's TikTok statement, y'all had some really funny things to say. I don't even want to work with my license. Same. The fact that nurses are like, I don't even want to work and I am licensed, that you want to impersonate us? No, we're telling you no, you don't want to. But if you do, please pick up my shift. Buc-ee's pays $37 an hour. And what's so funny is there is actually a Buc-ee's in Daytona Beach close to Palm Coast. So girl, you could have been making a lot more money with a lot less risk. And it's Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is awesome. So we just got Buc-ee's in Florida. Actually, I think they're awesome. You could have impersonated a beaver and worked at Buc-ee's, or you could have impersonated an otter in one of the natural springs here and still made more money. Leave a like if you like Buc-ee's and let me know what you get there because they do food there. I haven't got food there. I typically just shop. So what food should I get next time I'm at Buc-ee's? She only got caught because they were gonna give her a promotion and looked into her background. So she must have been doing a good job. What's that TikTok video? You're doing a good job. Yeah, you're doing a good job. That must have been her. For her to get away with it that long. I think because she had the experience in nursing school and at one point she was a licensed registered like CNA, that's what probably helped her. But still, I mean, wild. She missed the deadline to buy a degree in Florida, so she went with the next option. I know if she was just a few years behind, she could have went to South Florida, bought a degree for $10,000 with her full name on it. Sure, it would have been fake, but it would have been her full ass name. She wouldn't have had to steal someone else's identity. It probably would have been much easier. Sis said, let me cosplay as the most overworked, underpaid profession on earth. Like literally she could have done anything else. Anything else. If you want to cosplay a nurse, just put on some scrubs. You don't need to go out and care for patients. No. Maybe she just wanted it on the pizza parties. That's what nursing's known for. And if she was going to be the charge nurse, she would have been in charge of the pizza parties. And the promotion wasn't even worth it. And a charge nurse an extra like $1 an hour. And those damn mandatory annual education models. On top of doing the job of a nurse, yes, she probably had to do the mandatory education. You can't even find nurses who want to do nursing anymore. Just let the girl work. She already helped so many patients. There were so many comments like this. If she wants to do it, let her do it. If she's not causing harm, let her do it. It's because we're so short-staffed. We will take anyone with a pulse who wants to do it. And they're worried about me taking a break? It's so funny because like administration will come around and be like, you no time for a break. You don't get water, no water bottle at the nurse's station. But y'all just letting some nurse work with a fake license and you're worried about us? Like, you need to worry about you. Y'all need to worry about your HR departments. Of course it's Florida, and since it's Florida, she might get nominated for a Daisy Award. I've been a nurse 11 years, not one Daisy Award, and you're probably right. She probably has 5 of them. She's probably growing a daisy garden right now. I don't know who's gonna care for her daisy garden now that she's in jail, but anyways. If you have any comments about that story, drop them in the comments below. So this story went so viral that her cousin, I guess, posted some sort of statement on TikTok, so we could watch it together.
My cousin Autumn Bardisa just got arrested on 14 felony count charges for allegedly being a fake nurse, even though she just...
You got a good lip though. That is a nice lip. Your lip gloss is really pretty.
Passed her boards to be a licensed nurse.
That's so funny. This girl looks like one of my cousins. I have cousins. She could look like, all Florida cousins look the same is what I'm trying to get at. We don't even have to go in and verify if she is Autumn's cousin. It's already known.
Her boards to be a licensed nurse. She worked her ass off for Advent Health Hospital for the past 2 years. Every day, working overtime.
She worked her ass off for 2 years working overtime. Caring for that many patients, yes, that is accurate. That is true. We definitely know that.
Doing everything she could to support herself and her daughter, all by herself.
Now, I know she has a daughter. She was working to support her daughter. But still, that doesn't give you the right to impersonate a nurse. I'm sorry. Again, you could work at Buc-ee's and probably make just as much as a nurse in Florida. So there were plenty of other options which didn't require impersonating.
How is the hospital not in trouble?
How is the hospital not in trouble?
Where is their lawsuit?
So the cousin sticking up for her, saying, you know, she was obviously a good nurse if she was getting a promotion. She has now passed her NCLEX. She is a real nurse now, but why isn't the hospital also getting in trouble? So again, but your cousin, I'm sorry, was guilty. She should have just waited, you know? I mean, that's the statement from the family, I guess. That's the statement we're going to get with the family. But so what is the takeaway here? Number one, don't impersonate a nurse. It is not worth 14 felony counts, or else you're just going to end up in scrubs in the back of a cop car with your cousin from Florida making a statement on TikTok. And number two, shout out to the nurse who caught this and found this out and reported it, because this might have been unreported for years. She could have been your charge nurse, okay? She could have been the one in charge of your pizza parties working without a license. Well, actually, she did end up getting her NCLEX and becoming licensed. So I wonder how this would have all actually played out. Like if she was never caught, what would have happened? Could she still be working as a nurse, like as a charge nurse right now in Palm Coast, Florida? Maybe, we don't know. But shout out to the nurse who caught her, because we can't rely on administrators to keep us safe as healthcare workers or patients. Let me know in the comments if you've ever worked with a nurse that maybe you think, are they really a nurse? Should I check their license? We want to know your thoughts on the story. Maybe if you were one of her patients, or maybe you worked with her. Let us know what kind of nurse she was. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.